Hey there, welcome to T&D Video Games. This is Dave. I'm at the store today and it is going to be a great day. My camera shook when I did that. So there's a lot of stuff I have to do today. First off, Joe left me all of this from last week. Last week was a crazy week. We had so many trades. So basically I'm gonna have to go through all of this and price it and put it up on the shelves. There's a lot of really good stuff in this bin here. So somebody was asking about this Spider-Man game, so I'm gonna take pictures and send it to them. We don't get a lot of long box games for the PS1, so I think they're gonna be really happy with the condition of these. These are in pretty nice shape. So I'm gonna be pricing all of this and putting it on the shelf. I've also got some new stuff I'll be putting in today. So I've got all the restock from last week. And I say new stuff, but I mean, this is stuff that we sold last week that fortunately we had extra copies of. So I grabbed all that from the storage unit and I'll be putting that up on the shelves shortly. I've also got a purchase that I made. All these games in here I purchased from an old childhood friend who has his cottage next to ours. Well, I say ours, but it's my family cottage. So anyway, so I purchased those off of him and I'll be pricing those and putting them up on the shelves soon as well. I'm gonna get to it with the restock, with putting games on the shelves, organizing the shelves, and I have to get the client requests ready. So there's a lot to do. Let's go. So the first one is somebody was looking for Guitar Hero games for the PS3 and the PS2. We have a lot in stock right now, so I think they're going to be pretty happy with those. Next, somebody was looking for Pokemon Omega Ruby, Pokemon White, and Pokemon Black. We have all three in stock. The top one there says NM, that means it has no manual. Somebody was also looking for Mortal Kombat and Jurassic Park games that are CIB, so I have these in stock right now. Next, we got these traded in last week and a client had asked about them, so I've got them all priced out. They're basically $45 each and they're in really nice shape. Manuals there, everything's in really nice shape, so I think they're going to be really happy with the condition of these games. Typically when you get these games, the manuals are all scratched up and sometimes they don't even close. So he's going to be pretty happy with those, I think. And then last one, Spider-Man for the Nintendo 64. This is in really nice shape. And I mean, we've never had this game boxed. I don't think it's a crazy rare game at all. It's an obscure game for the N64. Like, we don't get it that often. It's a red card game, but to get it boxed is pretty cool. And I gotta say, the artwork on this one is stellar. So those are the client requests. I'll be taking pictures and sending these to everyone shortly. So I've just been pricing out the collection that Joe left for me, and I wanted to show you guys how I price games. So basically I price them and put them in piles. So these are all gonna be $25 games. That's 25 Canadian with the taxes. And then I'll go through with my labeler and price them all out. It's a lot easier this way than as opposed to going, you know, back and forth and back and forth. So I'm gonna keep going with these piles. I've got a bunch more games that I need to price out. Gotta keep going with this bin here and a bunch more over there. Fortunately, we're not too busy right now, so I'm gonna keep going at this and yeah, gonna get to it. Okay, so I'm pricing out all the games that Joe left for me last week, and I found this one, Micro Machines.
They're super small, super excellent, super tough, and super cool. Micro Machines. So many, so cool, so real, so small. Oh, wow. So Micro Machines. And where do Micro Machines go for fun? Highways and byways.
This brings back so many memories for me. Oh my God, I can't believe they made a Micro Machines game for the PS4. All right guys, so we're back with another trade. So I wanted to show you this. This one's really neat. A lot of really cool items in here. The Trinity Trigger Day 1 edition, and it's pretty much mint. These two yokai games, which always sell well for us. Pokemon Shield, a couple of PS5 games, which effectively doubles our PS5 section right now. No More Heroes and Wing Commander for the Sega CD. And then finally this pink GBA in really nice condition. So pretty happy to get all these games traded in. So I've priced out all the PS4 games and put them back on the shelves here, and I've also alphabetized everything. This PS4 section was looking a little rough the past few weeks. And one thing I did as well was I removed most, I say most because there's two of them right there, I removed most of the green stickers that we had from our last outdoor sale. So we had an outdoor sale back in May, and we kept the green stickers on for a few weeks, and I think it's just time to take them off right now. I may take off the green stickers for the Xbox One as well. We'll see. I may let those go another few weeks on sale. So these games here were sold to us by Bo. So big shout out to Bo. Just kind of a neat thing to get at somebody's cottage. Now Bo did have, you know, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, NES, and I asked if he wanted to sell those and he said no. And I kind of told him, I'm like, you know what, if you're still playing them, you still love them, keep them. The main kind of games that are really awesome here, we got the Smash Brothers Melee, Chaos Field, which we haven't had in a very long time, and it's pretty minty. Manhunt 2, Dead Space Extraction, those are kind of the highlights. Then some pretty decent PS3 games here as well, followed by a couple of DS games, and then a couple of PS2 games on the bottom there. So overall, a pretty cool purchase from 4 hours from Ottawa. So pretty cool stuff there. Okay, so this past weekend, Joe and I were chilling at his place, playing games, watching, what was it, MMA? I think it was MMA. Clearly I'm an MMA guy. So we were doing some of that stuff, but we also decided to shoot a couple of videos, sort of like podcast style, where we talk about, you know, various topics. And I'm going to be editing those and posting them to the YouTube channel in the upcoming weeks and months. I was able to film a few of them with Joe. We had a hoot. It was so much fun. And one of the things we talked about was pet peeves of owning a video game store. We also talked about the positives, but one of them was pet peeves. And one of Joe's pet peeves, right there, when someone puts a game back backwards. So whoever looked at A Boy and His Blob last week, yes, so much better. So I've got this box of loose discs that I'm going to be putting into the store today. There are so many loose discs in here. It is crazy. So Joe basically took all these games, he tested them and priced them all out and put them in little baggies. And then what we do is we take these games. So here, I'll take this one here. And it's going to go over here into our PS2 loose bin. Cool, eh? So these are all loose disc games. These sell really well for us. These are like really good sellers. So this is all PS2 stuff in here. We got some PS1 in here. Obviously everyone's favorite PS1 game right here, Link's Crossbow Training. Those go right there. Yeah, so these are all PS1 games. Got some Xbox 360, Xbox One there, GameCube and Wii. And so anytime we can't find the case to a game, we try to put these out here, and we have collectors that'll come in and just buy like, you know, 5 or 6 games at a time. So this is a great way for someone to play the game at a discount. All right, guys, so I have all the loose discs laid out. I'm gonna take pictures of these and post them online. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And as I was saying, anything that's loose disc, you're always gonna save a bunch of money. These are for people that often just wanna play the games. They don't care that they have the cases or manuals. This one here is crazy. Look at that, Valkyrie profile. 195 loose disc. Sometimes also somebody will have the case at home, but they're missing the game. These are all going into the store today. Zelda, Need for Speed Underground 2, a couple of GameCube games. And Joe has tested all of these, which is super cool. So we know that when people buy them, they're gonna like them. They're not gonna have to bring them back and say that they're scratched or whatnot. We want people to go home super satisfied. So there we go. I'm gonna go put these into their bins. Hey guys, so today I'm gonna talk about some negative interactions that you get online with people, specifically through a game store. I've owned this game store with Joe for a little over 6 years now, and we've had a lot of, actually I shouldn't say we've had a lot, but we've had lots of messages over the years where, you know, people were just not kind. They would use foul language, they would be mean, they would be rude, they would get angry, and it's always like puzzling to me because I'm like, why? And it's also like people wouldn't communicate like that in person, right? I've been making these YouTube shorts and reels that I've been posting online, and I've been making the ones saying like, who remembers playing this game, right? So I made one for this game here for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Who remembers playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? And whenever I take the games off of the shelves, I don't take the price sticker off. Like, I keep it on there. That's what it's going for. I do that because we're a store. Like, ultimately, I'm promoting the store here, right? You know, I try to show the store as often as I can in the videos as well. Anyway, so I made this video with Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Super awesome game, right? And dude, dude put in his comment, he's pretty rude about it, like, you know, $65 for a 40-year-old game, like, how could you do this? This is ridiculous. But he didn't use the word ridiculous. He used other fun language with a capital F. You know, I honestly read these things now and I just kind of like, I smile. I'm just like, there you are. There's the comment I'm going to get today, right? Like the bad comment. It doesn't faze me at all. It's more of a curiosity, right? Like, why would someone comment about that? Why would someone get angry about that? Why would someone swear about that? Like, all those things go through my head. Like, if you don't like the price, that's cool. I get it. Don't buy it, right? What I found really interesting about him, you know, I don't know anything about him, right? But he was saying, you know, it's $65 for a game that's 40 years old. And I understand that completely. Like, people come in here all the time and they can't believe the prices of some games. They think they'd all be like $5, right? You know, I guess number one, this game here, first of all, it's in Canadian dollars. So, you know, if you're watching this in the States, this is going to be a lot more. It's going to appear to be a lot more. It also includes 13% HST, which is our local taxes. So that brings it down a bit, right? But even if that wasn't there, like, this is our price for the game. And like, we feel confident selling it at this price. It sells at this price. We have to purchase these games at a certain price and then sell them. Like, I'm not buying this for $5 and selling it for $65, right? Like, that's not happening. Typically Nintendo, we have to pay a lot more, like 50, 60, sometimes even 70%. All those things factor into the price of the game. Again, it doesn't really matter. So for me, it was more of a curiosity, like, why does someone speak that way? Why do they feel the need to do that? And then the best part about his text was, or his message, was that he's like, are you guys trying to be like DK Oldies? And I know DK Oldies gets a terrible rap, and quite frankly, I've never dealt with them, so I can't really comment on that. But it was kind of funny. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what DK Oldies sells their game for, right? And they sell their game for like over $90, right? And you have to pay for shipping after that. So I was just laughing. I'm like, we're cheaper than DK Oldies. So I don't know what you want me to do. I thought I'd talk about that. You know, you get these customers, or I guess in this case, it was somebody who just commented online, and it's pretty nasty stuff, right? It's all out there on social media, but you just have to really smile at it and be like, some people are like that. That's the way they are. I'm not going to let it bother me. And you just kind of move on. So anyway, there you go. So I just finished pricing all these 360 games right here. I've alphabetized them as well. And I have to find room on our 360 shelf here, which is honestly not looking pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is go through here, pull any doubles, re-alphabetize everything, and get those games on the shelves. It's been a slower day today, which gives me a chance to do these kind of things. So I finished re-alphabetizing and culling the 360 section, and it's looking really good. And what's pretty cool about this is that I was able to leave some gaps in each section to make room for new games. I was actually able to pull about 60 doubles from here, which is just crazy. So we don't like to keep more than one copy for the Xbox 360 just because our section isn't that big. It's looking pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. All right, so we have another trade here. We got the Dance Dance Revolution Mario mix with the pad, which we don't often get, which is pretty cool. Finally got some Donkey Kong bongos in. We haven't had these in well over a year. Got a Power Glove.
The Power Glove for your Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you and the games are one.
No sensor bar, but still pretty cool. A couple of box PS3 accessories there, and a few loose 3DS and DS games. Always good to get the Pokemon games in stock. They sell super well, so really happy to get this trade in. You gotta love games from the old days. Surfin' H3O, you know, cause H2O, that's not extreme enough. H3O. All right, guys, so I'm not entirely sure what I think about this, but I think I found a neat way to display some loose disc games in the store. These were sitting in a small bin with the other loose discs, and they're really good games. They're a little more expensive, so it's nicer to have them in the display case. So I just sort of scattered them through here. What I did here was just tape them onto the shelf there. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if they sell. Let me know what you think. Is this a good idea, or does this look completely ridiculous? So it's a little after 5 o'clock. I just closed. I had a bunch of customers come in the last half an hour, which is always awesome. Today was a slower day, but it was still busy. I can't explain that. It was just like, it was one of those days where like it felt busy all day, even though the sales were a little bit slower. We sold, I'd say, more like common stuff today as opposed to the rare stuff that we sold last week. So, you know, a lot of PS4, a lot of PS3. We sold a lot of Super Nintendo today. I don't think there's anything too mentionable that we sold. We had a few trades which came in, which you saw, which are pretty cool. There is one funny story that I have to share with you though, because one of the best parts about owning a game store is that you have people that come in and they share their stories with you, right? And all day long, we're talking to people. People are talking with each other. Like, it's super awesome. And this guy comes in and he's like, well, do you repair consoles? And I'm like, well, we don't repair them, but we have a repair guy who does. So this is his card right there. It's Peter. Peter is top-notch awesome. Peter repairs anything for us. He does our batteries. He does all that stuff. And I said, well, I'm just curious, like, what's broken? What's the issue? And they're like, oh, my GameCube, the button sticks, the opening button. And I was like, oh yeah, Peter can do that. He's done that for us in the past. And they're like, I don't know if he's gonna want to look at it. And I asked him, like, well, why wouldn't you want to look at it? And they're like, well, my baby brother peed on it when he was younger. And I was like, what are you talking about? And like, long story short, this poor kid as a child, like, was sleepwalking in the middle of the night, went and peed into his GameCube. But here's the cool thing, okay? It still works. It just, the button sticks. Long story short, you can pee into a Nintendo GameCube and it'll still work. I thought that story was like too cool and I had to share it. That was our day. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, click the like button, subscribe. We really appreciate you watching. Leave us comments down below. Have you ever broken a console, maybe by peeing in it, or maybe just something happened, you broke a console or a game? Let us know down below. Cheers.